Look, I don't know what we're doing. I really don't. Don't know. The trade deadline is come and gone. And Kansas City Chiefs, as of November 4th, didn't do anything. Not a thing. They just kind of stood there, hands in their pockets, whistling like everything is going to be fine. Meanwhile, we're all sitting here as fans and we're just watching this team struggle with the same situations and the same problems that they had since week 2 that we've all been talking about, right? It's okay. Let's be honest. I mean, that's what we have to do. We have to be honest. The running back room is not scaring anybody. We know this, right? I'm not saying we needed to go out and get a superstar running back. Not at all. But can we get somebody that basically isn't falling forward for just 2 yards every time? Basically hoping that the line opens up a miracle hole for somebody, one of these guys to fall through. Can we do that? Is that just too much to ask, right? Can we run the ball? Can we? Are we even really trying to run the ball? Every drive feels like we're trying to set the world record for the most second and nines in a season. And the defensive line, don't get me started. Listen, I love Chris Jones. I do. I love Chris Jones. As much as anybody, I guarantee you that. But this man is out here being triple teamed. And he's fighting every down. Fighting for his life, be honest with you. And it doesn't matter because they don't have anybody else to help him. They don't have anybody else that's actually helping him besides Karlaftis. And Karlaftis is actually struggling this year. They have no depth on that line. It's a struggle right now. Where is the help? We don't have any interior presence. We don't have anybody that can stop a running back from getting to the second level. Not consistently. Right? So these are the things that are bothering me. We're getting ran on so much right now. We look like we're the cardio exercise for these guys on the opposite team when it comes to these games. We look like we're, helping them get ready to, run a marathon or something. This is ridiculous. We're over here acting like trust the process. Y'all remember that? Trust the process. Listen, the process is looking tired. The process it's wheezing. The process needs an inhaler. That's what's happening right now. The league isn't waiting for us. Other teams, they're getting better. Other teams are filling holes. Other teams are looking in the mirror. They're saying, how do we fix this? That's what they're doing right now. And the Chiefs are over here taking deep breaths and visualizing the process like it's, like it's a yoga class. At some point, you do have to do something. At some point, you do have to do something. Because I promise you, when we get to January, nobody wants to hear, well, we thought we had the roster that was good enough to win. Nobody wants to hear that. You had time. You had opportunity. You had needs. And you didn't move. So now, I guess we're rolling with what we got. I know I made it sound horrible, but we're rolling with what we got. And I hope I'm wrong. I really do. I hope I'm wrong, and I really do hope that these guys can, show up and prove me wrong, that they didn't need anybody else. But right now, it feels like we're hoping, not planning. And hope is not a strategy. This is a lot of the things that are coming from people that I'm hearing from online, from everywhere. Twitter, YouTube, Facebook. We're going to talk about it right here on the Cavecast. Y'all stay tuned. What's happening, everybody? I'm Big Temp. That's Mr. Mike LaFleur. We are the crew, the Cavecast, and welcome to another edition of Chiefs. What the hell is we gonna do now? Football. If you guys don't know, we are big Chiefs fans, and last week we had a game against the Buffalo Bills. And what you guys heard at the beginning of this video was not necessarily the views of mine. This is just how a lot of Chiefs fans are feeling right now, and I've seen it all over the internet. It was actually taken, in part, just pieces here and there, from things that I heard from other people who said things on Twitter, who said things online on YouTube, on other people's channels. And so I just pieced pieces together to come up with a rant of some of the things that I have heard from Chiefs fans. And I got to tell you, it's not far off from the base right now. And I know a lot of people are going to say, well, most of those people that are ranting and complaining about those things, they're fair weather fans. That's not necessarily true. I do not agree with that. The Chiefs lost to the Buffalo Bills last week, and it wasn't that they performed horribly, but the game plan was not very good. The things that they should have did to give Patrick Mahomes some help. I don't know if anybody else knows this, but as a rule of thumb, whenever a team is pressuring a QB at a high rate, the number one thing you can do for a QB to protect him and take a lot of that heat off of him is to run the ball. And the Chiefs don't do that. At least they have not been doing that here as of late. And I don't know why. They have two running backs that were available. They have another running back that is sitting on the bench, on the sideline, as a healthy scratch, has been all season, and they've paid him more money, more guaranteed money than anybody else in that running back room, and they have not tried to use him. So there's no excuse as to why they didn't run the ball. It's just that it didn't happen. The offensive line was a little banged up. Trey Smith was coming back from an injury to his back. We also had Juwan Taylor, who went out in that game with an ankle injury. We also had, God, it was bad. We also had Jalen Moore, who was getting completely dominated in that game by Joey Bosa. And I am glad that we did bring, or we do have, our starting left tackle back in the building in Kansas City, Josh Simmons. So it does help that is going to be one of those things that's going to be taken care of. But we have other issues, and like I said at the beginning of the video, those are things that people are talking about, and it's not just that these are things that are not happening fast enough. These are just things that it just seems to be like the Chiefs are kind of just biding their time, like they think it's just going to automatically magically turn around. I don't know. What I do know is that the Chiefs are in a situation, and it's not a good situation. They're currently sitting at 5-4, and they are looking at an uphill battle. I don't really think that they can lose a game going down this stretch, not especially in the AFC West. They're trailing the Chargers. They are trailing the Denver Broncos, and they need to try to win out in this league, at least in that AFC West division, in order to make it possible for them to make it to the playoffs. I don't want to make it seem like everything is, really like just bad. I don't want it to make it seem like that. But at some point, you do have to come to the realization that you are not in a good position and you have to start taking things seriously. These games have got to get, they've got to turn around. The close games, the tip passes, the turnovers in your favor, things of that nature. Some things got to start going your way. And right now, it's not looking like that's happening for the Chiefs. And I know I'm talking a lot. Mike, what are you thinking?
Let me think, man. So, okay, like obviously the Chiefs aren't in the greatest position, but this is what I will say. Since I would say since was it like 2023? Since
Yeah.
Matt Nagy's got here, I would even say the year before that to an extent. The Chiefs have always had this thing where they go through this stint throughout the year, and we're just like, what the hell are y'all doing? Like, especially since 23. And I know there was a year, I can't remember exactly what year it was, where we also thought we weren't going to make the play. Well, I don't think we thought that, but,
I
with the
think it was
record at the time,
I think it was 21. I think it was 21. We
that
were
was the year
five
we
and
played the
four.
Bengals, right?
Yeah,
That's when we
in the
played the
AFC
Bengals, right?
Championship. Yeah, we were
All
five and
right.
four at that time. It wasn't looking good. They went on a run there, and they wound up losing the AFC Championship after they were up
Right.
big in the first half.
Right. So, I do think, obviously, there is issues, but I do think, as we all know, out of all teams to give the benefit of the doubt, it's obviously the Chiefs, right? So a
Yeah,
lot
I
of the
mean, I
a lot
understand that, but I'm just like, at
a
what
lot of
point
the
does that
issues,
luck run out?
but is it
Eh,
luck though? If you've
It's
been
not that
doing
it
it
is.
time
It's
and
not.
time and time again,
At
you
some
know what I'm saying?
point,
Like,
I'm not saying that it's necessarily luck. What I'm saying is that at some point, things don't go in your favor anymore. Right now,
okay, let
I'm
me put
not
it
saying
this
that.
way. Well, let me put it this way, because people were still complaining last year, and that team won 15 games. They were
Yeah,
still complaining.
true. No,
You know what I'm
you're
saying?
absolutely right.
Even in wins, people were still complaining. You know what I'm saying? So
I think a lot of those
you
complaints are
can't have it
because of
both
how we were
ways.
winning. I think
But that's
that's
what I'm
because
saying. You can't have it. You can't have you can't have it all. You know what I'm saying? Like they were winning, but it just wasn't the way that you wanted them to win.
I
You
don't
know?
think
Like
I don't think it's the fact that they were winning. I think what it was is that because there were so many favorable calls for the Chiefs in those games, and they were such close games where they were winning by 1 point or one score or less, and people were actually complaining about the way that they were winning those games, to where, you remember, we were getting the thing where they were talking about the refs are fucking cheating for the Chiefs. And that was one of the biggest things all over the internet that, last season.
I mean,
So,
they're still doing that, and we're losing.
yeah, but I haven't heard as much of it right now. It was bigger last
Oh
year.
no. Nah, I would only say the only reason why it seems bigger last year is because we went through a full season of it. We're only halfway through the season. That even in the game that we lost against the I don't know if it was the Bills or wait, was it the Bill? It was somebody else, I think.
The Jags?
I think it was the Jags game. I think it was the
Yeah.
Jags game. People were still talking about a call. I don't remember exactly which one it was, but they were still bitching about a call all over Twitter, and we lost.
Yeah. And
Like
that's why I said
you can't
it's got
make
something to
this
do with
shit
the
up.
refs. It's everything to do with the refs. And I get it. And you're right. I think half of what you're saying is completely true. We cannot, that's that old saying, you can't make everybody happy all the time, right? So I don't necessarily think that's the situation we have here. I think what we have now is we're looking at guys like Chris Jones, who, God forbid, something bad was to happen and we don't have him on that defensive line. What are we doing now? Because we have nobody to back him up. Nobody.
Well,
Last year,
I don't think that even if you got somebody in a trade, you can't replace Chris Jones.
no, but you can try
You know
to
what I'm saying?
alleviate the blooding, the bloodletting going on. That's the thing about having guys as backups. Yes, I know. Look, I said it when we did the draft last year. I said I really wanted them to draft 2 defensive tackles, a defensive edge, and maybe 2 running backs. I understand that's just me wishing, right? It wasn't what was going to happen. And if it did happen, I would have been totally fucking surprised. But I knew that wasn't going to happen, so I just let it go. But as time goes on, they say hindsight is always 20/20. We really did need 2 defensive tackles, a defensive edge, and 2 running backs. Because right now,
No,
you don't think
you said
so?
you said we did, or you said we didn't.
I think we did. I think we do. That's what we should have got. We got Omar
Okay, so
Nolan
look, so
and
you would have rather
Jelani.
not get a dude like Noah Williams?
I mean, in this grand scheme of things,
No, I don't know
because
about that, man.
hold on, just listen,
Because we don't know the situation what's going to happen with McDuffie either. So
We don't. And here's the problem with that. Because we also don't know what the situation is with Christian Fulton, and we paid him $20 million to sit on the fucking sideline.
now that
So,
I agree with, but I think
but
that's more of a coaching,
that's part
that's
of
a
the
coaching
reason.
staff issue for me.
But that's part of the reason why I said we should have went ahead and just got 2 defensive tackles and got a defensive edge and 2 running backs. The main reason why I said this is because if you can create pressure up front, you can make your fucking cornerbacks look better. You give your cornerbacks a lot more chances to win if you get pressure up front. And they cannot get pressure up front. That's why we're having issues with Shamari Connor in the fucking coverage. That's why we're having issues with not having, Jaden Hicks on the field, because we don't have a guy that we can bring down in the box because they're too busy playing guys who can't cover like Shamari Connor. We don't have enough of the guys I think we need in that secondary. Why in the fuck did we pay Christian Fulton? Why do we pay Christian Fulton? If we had enough guys, how come we haven't
But
made a trade?
that's what I'm saying. But that's what I'm saying. Though I feel like, and look, the
Coaching has
defensive
nothing
line
to do
thing.
with Christian Fulton being on that field. That is a GM's fucking job.
Wait,
And if
wait,
the
wait. You don't think if it's a healthy scratch that doesn't have anything to do with the coaching?
No, because here's the deal. It's not that it's necessarily not the coaching. That means that the GM should be saying, fine, if you're not going to play him, I'm going to get rid of him in a trade to bring somebody else in that I know you can fucking use, like a defensive tackle. We'll try to make a trade, eat a little bit of this fucking salary, but get somebody that can fucking help us right now. Because he can't help us right now sitting on the sideline in street clothes.
No, I mean I
That's what
agree,
I'm saying.
but you have to also have somebody that wants to have him too.
We don't know if that's true because
That's what I'm
we
saying.
we don't have a clue. But somebody wanted him in fucking free agency this past season. It wasn't just the Chiefs. Somebody else wanted him. That's why they gave him $20 million. So you got to think about that. I just learned today by looking at the fucking, the salary that we have for the Chiefs and the players. We're spending $11.6 million on between fucking Charles Omenihu and Mike Dana, and ain't neither one of them did shit, really. Well, I'll take that back. Mike Dana
No, Mike
was
Dana's
hurt.
been playing.
He
Yeah.
has been hurt a little bit, but think about that. 11.6 between the two of them. And Omenihu ain't. He has not been very good this season at all. He's been really bad. And we could have went and got somebody else. They even let Omenihu go. He couldn't get signed anywhere else, so they let him come back. They decided to bring him back and pay him that money. I just think that some of the things that we're doing as an organization right now, they're really not making a lot of sense to me. They just don't. They don't
But that's
go
what I,
together.
but that's what I was saying. Like, I think there's a disconnect
There
between the
is.
coaching and GM.
There
Like,
is.
I do vehemently think that part of the reasons why Beach, like, it's like with the Brees Hall thing, right? I'm not necessarily mad that we didn't spend a third to get Brees Hall, especially on an expiring contract when you don't know if he's even going to resign the next year. But the
No,
thing
you
is
don't.
that you don't know that, and then like the thing is that they spent a draft pick last year on a dude just for him not to play. It's like they do. It's like the GM has an idea for a certain player to bring in, and then when that player comes in, it doesn't match up with what the coach wants to do apparently. So they don't end up playing,
And that's
and
part
that
of the
and that's
reason
the
why. That's part of the
and
reason
there's
why I
been
was
a
going down this
disconnect.
road with you, because I wanted you to say this, because this is what people need to understand. I don't think people really get what's really happening in that organization right now, where you have a GM who is actually trying to make the team better, but at every stop that he gets to make try to make the team better, there's an opposing force who's not using some of those guys, just like we have right now in Christian Fulton. Just like
Right.
we had, think about it like this. I want everybody to remember this. We had Justin Reed last year, was his last year of his contract. The reason why we actually let him go, because we could have signed him. We could have signed him. But the reason we let him go is because they said that Jaden Hicks was the future at safety. He was going to be the guy to take over for Justin Reed. Justin Reed even said that guy's going to be a star. And what have we done with Jaden Hicks this year?
Just it's funny. They said all that just for Jamari Connor to be that player, and he's been
Exactly.
terrible.
And he's
But
been
that's what I'm
fucking,
saying.
he's been
That's the
bad.
disconnect. That's the disconnect that I'm seeing because like
And that's where
there's
I
no
that's where I
reason why
wanted you to.
Chamari, but there's no reason why Chamari should be playing more than freaking Hicks, bro.
I get
There's
it.
no reason.
Hicks may have made a mistake or two, but that doesn't mean you throw him onto the sideline when this guy
And
is
Connor
at.
hasn't. That's the
Exactly.
crazy thing.
Connor has made a ton of mistakes. A
A
ton.
ton of
I've watched
mistakes.
him in coverage get lost I don't know how many times. Making bad plays, out of
Yeah.
position, head turned
Remember how I
around.
was telling you?
Yeah.
Remember how I was telling you how certain players get certain leashes on, or they get a leash on them, versus how others don't. They
Yeah.
don't get to have. They don't get to make the mistakes that other players are allowed to do,
Yeah.
and then not get their playing time cut. Bro,
Yeah.
I've noticed that for years. They do that. I'm telling you, it's crazy, man. I don't understand why Hicks should be playing more. Period. End of
He should
story.
be. And it's just like when we were sitting there, I think it was the second game or the third game. I think it was the third game of the season. I can't remember which one it was. But Noah Williams was playing, and he was playing at a high level, one of the highest rated
Oh yeah.
corners in the league at that time per his PFF grade. And then the next game, Spags sits him out. He only plays 4 snaps. And we're like, what in the fuck are you doing?
Makes no
Because
sense. And
he's
that was
one of your
after
better defenders.
that was after Chamari Connors was playing terrible.
Exactly.
Terrible.
Yeah.
And
And that's
still
why I
wouldn't put him in
said
the game.
there is a disconnect. There is a disconnect, and the inner workings of that organization right now. There's some gears that ain't they're not falling in place so they can work together, right? And a lot of it I think is between Spags and Brett Veach. I'm not saying there's any kind of rumors or nothing like that. What I'm saying is just looking from the outside in, watching what happened with Joshua Uche last year, where we spent a fucking draft pick to bring Uche in, who was one of the better pass rushers as far as pressures go last season before he came to the Chiefs. And then he gets there and doesn't even really get used. He leaves the Chiefs,
Crazy.
goes to the Eagles this year, and is in the top half of the fucking pressures in the league again.
And you know what's
Why is
crazy?
that?
The little amount of snaps that he actually did get, he actually looked good.
But
That's
why
that's
is
the
that? That's
that was the
that's the
crazy
problem.
thing about it. That
We
was the
sit
crazy thing
here
about it.
And see, what pisses me off is that Veach is doing this and spending draft picks, and Veach is doing this, and Spags is not fucking, realizing, hey, look, we're losing draft picks. We're not maintaining the amount of draft picks that we need to keep to be able to do this. So we're trying to win now. Last year was the win now. We wanted to win, so many in a row. It had never been done. They went out and got Uche and put these guys in positions to try to win. And then Spags never plays the guy. Well, how the fuck are we supposed to try to win if you don't even want to use the pieces that we get for you?
Yeah, and that's kind of my biggest issue overall with the coaching staff is that when you get players, you're not using them. And this goes offense, defense, whatever.
Yeah.
That is my biggest issue. Is not putting players on the field that you have.
I mean,
like
Elijah
it doesn't
Mitchell,
make any sense.
Elijah Mitchell is sitting on the fucking sideline as a healthy scratch. He makes more money out of all the fucking running backs as far as that guaranteed money goes. He has the highest cap hit out of all the fucking running backs, but has not seen the field the whole season. He's sitting on the sidelines and he's healthy scratch. We lose Pacheco. What do? We bring Clyde Edwards-Helaire up from the fucking practice squad. And give him snaps before we give Elijah Mitchell, who's been healthy all fucking season.
Bro.
I don't fucking get it. And then when asked about it, Tracy Wolfson she sideline reporter Tracy Wolfson, she was talking to Andy Reid about this in an interview and said, hey, so you're bringing Clyde up, for this game against the Bills, and fucking Andy Reid says, well, Clyde has had some good games against Buffalo. He's had one good game, and that was 4 fucking years ago. Why in the fuck does that matter now? He ain't played.
Yeah, and you know what's crazy?
You can't make this shit up.
You know what kills me about Reed? Bro, Reed be lying. Like, he literally be straight up lying to these people. Both games, these past games, the Buffalo game, and who did we play before that? Who we played before that?
The Commanders.
Commanders, yeah. At halftime, I shit you not. At halftime, you know what this motherfucker said? Both times. We got to get the run game going. We did not run the ball. Can't make this shit up. I swear he be toying with us, bro. I swear he does, man. That dude, he gets on my nerves sometimes.
I love Andy, but you're right. He's like that. He's like that person that that, hey, he's cool as shit, but he does annoying ass shit to you all the fucking time. Sometimes you just want to reach over and wring his neck, just shut the fuck up, He's like that, you love him, he always is around, he's cool, you like hanging out with him, but sometimes he can be annoying. He's that person because he says shit and you're like, wait a minute, hold the fuck up. I know you didn't just say that when we've been saying, we know you ain't gonna run the ball. I mean, it was apparent you weren't really trying to run the ball in this game against Buffalo.
Man, it drove me insane.
You gave snaps to Clyde Edwards-Helaire, who has not seen one down all fucking season. And you brought him up from the practice squad over Elijah Mitchell, a guy who's been waiting on the sidelines as a healthy scratch all season. Why?
And then on top of that,
why are we not trading these
before Brashard too? Oh.
Yeah, and that was the other thing. So Brashard's been healthy all season, and you don't give him those snaps.
He's actually been on the team. Yeah, he's actually been on the field and playing. And you give Clyde snaps still. I
don't get it. I don't know what the answer is. Here's my thing.
The coaching staff got to get it together.
I don't know what the answer is. What I do know is this. Patrick didn't play a great game. A lot of that is determined by how bad the offensive line was playing that game. I can say that. I can also say that Pat missed some passes. He got
He
rattled.
definitely did.
He got
He
rattled.
definitely
He,
did.
he made some of the wrong reads. He was not without fault. There is no
Yeah,
everybody
that
deserves
one to
fault.
Worthy. Yeah, that
Yeah.
one to Worthy was terrible. That was
Yes.
a terrible
And
throw.
it also goes to show you that we have become predictable because if you think about it, I just want everybody to know. So I think it's the corner there. Is it Malik Hairston? Is he the one?
Yeah.
Malik
Hmm.
Hairston, rookie cornerback, said in an interview after the game that Xavier Worthy gives tales on how he, was going to come out for that play. So he knew what he was going to do. He knew if he was going to be really running a route. He knew when he was getting ready to go deep. He said because he gives little tales, and that came from film study. Okay, well, that, you know what that means? You guys aren't running hard on every fucking damn play. That's how they're
Yeah,
able to tell.
and it also entails that they know when they're going to pass and when they're not going to too.
Exactly. And there's the other problem is because
And most of the times they're going to pass.
Andy Reid has become predictable, and everybody, especially guys that they play on a regular basis, like the Buffalo Bills, like the Denver Broncos, like the fucking LA Chargers, they all know this. So at some point, we have to change things up. And the only thing that you can really do to change this offense up and keep people off balance is to run the fucking ball. I know it's a fucking noble concept.
And you know what's crazy,
I
Dad?
don't get it.
We're not even saying they got to run 20 times with one back or nothing like that. Look, this is really all I
You
want.
could run
Run the ball.
15. You could run 15 per back if you really wanted to. You could
Hey,
run
you really
15
could.
per back.
You really could.
You
You
could.
really could. But you know what I really want? I want them to run when it makes fucking sense. When Pacheco is running for 7 yards a carry, keep running the ball until they stop it. When they try
Yeah.
to stop it, that's when you start passing the bro. It's simple, bro.
And
Like I don't understand.
the other thing that you saying there is so true about that is that we tend to go away from the things that are working. We were running the
Man,
ball that whole first half and it was working. And
and
then
what? How many times did you see it under center? How many times did we go under center?
I don't think we've seen
Zero,
it. I don't think we've seen any. Yeah, I don't gonna say.
zero, and that's been our most successful like formation when we run the ball, and they stop doing it.
I will say this: the only thing that is going to change this is if number one, we get our protection. Josh Simmons coming back is going to help tremendously with that. Moving fucking more over the right tackle if Jawan Taylor can't go, I think is actually going to work out better. And
And now I will say this though, Jawan Taylor, I gotta give him his flowers because overall, the past like 4 or 5 weeks, pretty much the majority of the season, he's been playing well.
he
No
has
penalties
until that
really.
game. I'm going to tell you his
Yeah,
PFF,
at that game he was
his
struggling,
pass, his pass,
but other
his
than
pass
that,
block, his pass blocking grade and
he's been
run
playing
grade in
well.
that game, his pass blocking grade and run block grade in that game against Buffalo was horrendous. He got
Yeah, it
a
was bad.
fucking he got a 39 as a fucking run block grade and a 40 something. I was a 42, 45 as a
Now,
pass block grade. It was fucking
to be
horrible.
fair, to be fair, now I don't think he was great, but PFF is kind of on my shit list right
I get
now.
it, they are, but I'm just
You
saying
know
if
what
you
I'm
go by
saying?
what they're
But
trying to
if
tell
you go
you,
by
what
the
you're
eye
supposed to look
test,
at.
yeah, he wasn't that great that game.
He
I'll give you
wasn't that great,
I can
but
agree.
like I said, I don't like to put a lot of weight in the PFF. But if I'm going by what they're saying, which everybody seems to do now, that was horrendous numbers. It was the worst numbers of out of everybody on the offensive line. I will say this: the offensive line, I'm not too much worried about. It's the defensive
I'm not
line.
either.
The defensive line
Yeah,
has got to get better.
the offense overall will be fine. The defense is where we gotta make something shake.
We do have a
We gotta
lot of
get
things
some.
we have a lot of things that's got to change. And one of the things I'm going to say that has to change immediately is you've got to get these young guys on the field. You have all these athletes that you have that you need to get out on the field because at
Hey,
some point or another, you got to play Bossa because Tranquil cannot fucking cover anybody.
and I will
It,
say this, and I agree. That's another thing too. And I want to give a shout out too because I actually think he had a really good game that kind of got overlooked, obviously by the L. But Ashton Gelati looked really good
yeah,
in that game
Gelati looked
against the
really good.
Bills. He looked
Gelati
really
looked really
good,
good.
so I got to give him his credit. You know,
I hate the fact that we don't have Omar Norman Lott. I know we
yeah,
have
that
a couple
sucks.
of guys on the fucking practice squad. We can't
And
afford another.
it sucks that FAU got hurt too, man.
Yeah,
Because
but
I actually think, man, that sucks, bro.
we don't
I'm
have any
annoyed.
more we don't have any more room to lose a guy on that defensive line. We really
Yeah, we
don't.
really don't.
We don't have any more, guys that we can just, bring up. I mean, we got a couple guys on the practice squad, but shit, if they ain't on the fucking, the regular active roster as of right now, shit, there's probably a reason for it, you would think. So I don't know. I don't know. But I will say, at the end of the
I do
day,
want to see more Abasa though. I
I want to
definitely agree with
see
you on that.
I want to see more of these athletes. I want to see more Noah Williams. I want to see more Jaden Hicks. I want to see more Jeffrey Bossa. I want to see these guys on the field. Hell, give me Elijah Mitchell a couple of snaps in the fucking game and give Brashard Smith the fucking ball. Give
Bro,
him the fucking ball.
you know how I feel.
What
You
the
know
fuck
how
are
I
we
feel.
waiting
And I'm
for?
tired. And listen here, y'all. To you Chiefs fans, and look, this ain't all of you, just some of you. To all you Chiefs fans that keep saying that he doesn't have the experience, he's not a running back, he's a receiver. Bro, they're not using receiver either.
No, they're not using him as
What
a
are we
receiver
talking
either.
about?
I think it
What are
was
we
kind of
talking about?
ridiculous. I think it's kind of ridiculous that we lined up on that first touchdown that we got during that game. We lined it up. We put Rashee Rice in the backfield instead of a fucking running back like a Brashard Smith, and we need to get his confidence up. And you run that play in particular for him, but yet Brashard Smith has been on the team
Yes,
since fucking training camp, and you don't run that type of play for him to get his confidence level up to
makes
give
no
him.
sense.
I just don't understand these type of things. I don't.
Yeah,
Like I
I
told
don't get
somebody
it.
when they said this shit about him not playing running back, they said he didn't have enough snaps playing running back. That's why they're not giving him the ball as a running back. I said, so, but it's okay to give Rashee Rice, who plays wide receiver, and put him in as a running back and let him play as running back to score a
Bro.
touchdown.
And not
That
only that,
makes
he's not he had a wildcat play on top of that. Like, bro,
Yeah,
come
and
on.
that's what I'm trying to say. They keep trying to do these things. I get it. He's dynamic. I'm not trying to take that away from him, but what I'm saying is we have other pieces that will help us blow these fucking games out for people. Just it would make it harder to cover us. But you got to get these guys a chance to play. You have to. You have to give them a
Yeah.
chance to play, and giving them 1 to 3 snaps a game ain't gonna fucking do it. It's not gonna do it.
Bro,
So
there's these dudes on here who talk about how Brashard is only averaging like 3 point yards a carry. I'm like, bro, are you dead ass? Are you being dead ass right now? He's
yeah, but
not getting meaningful snaps.
yeah, bringing him in with the second and third team, and he's running those
Like,
snaps.
come on.
A majority of those carries that he had was when Gardner Minshew was the quarterback, and they were playing against the fucking Raiders, and it was pretty much
Yeah,
donezo. He was playing with
that's what
the
bro.
fucking third string fucking lineman. He's not he's not gonna get a lot out of that, right? And they were just running straight up the middle with him. They weren't trying to go to the
Yeah, they were
fucking
trying to kill clock. They were
yeah.
literally
They
trying to
weren't
kill
running
clock.
outside zone. They weren't running any fucking between the fucking tackles and nothing like that. They're just running straight up the fucking middle. It was just some bullshit. But like I said, these are the things that I've been harping about, and I'm not jumping off. That's not how this works. What I'm saying is things as a fan, I have every right to criticize what I'm seeing because, look, I'm invested. I'm invested in this team. I have been for years. So I'm looking at it going, why are we not doing these things that could help us? I have faith that they're going to do the right thing. I just don't know if they're going to do it in time. You understand what I'm saying, Mike?
You know, I would agree with you, but what I do think will help them. I think the bye week for this year. You know, they say everything happens for a reason.
It
Because
came
last year we
late.
had a
It
bye
came in.
week.
Coming late is a
Yeah,
good thing.
yeah. But I think this is the perfect time for them to have that bye week. Um, so they can, especially after a loss, so they can kind of you know,
Yeah.
get their shit together. You know what I'm saying?
It doesn't.
Kind of
It,
reflect on the season
it
and shit
doesn't
like
help
that.
that
So,
the next game coming out of this bye week is is against the Denver
man,
Broncos, who are
fuck the
who's currently
donkeys,
number one in the
man.
AFC West. No, I'm just saying because it'd be different if we could get a gear up game before we play them, right? Right, coming out of
But
the.
you know
But
what?
it is what it
But
is.
this might. But this is why I said everything happens for a reason. Think about it, Dad. They just lost to the Bills. You go into a bye week. You're 5-4.
Yeah,
You can't really. I mean, even before the Bills game, you really couldn't afford no L's. But now that you're 5-4, you come out of this bye week against a divisional rival. You have to win this game. Well, you would think they need to win this game.
they have to win
This
this
is the
game.
perfect, yeah. This is the perfect moment for them to come out and get back on track against a good team.
Yeah,
I don't
this
want
would.
like I wouldn't feel. I don't think I'd feel as good if they were coming out and going against the Raiders. You know what
Because
I'm saying? Like
I think the next game right after that is the Colts.
I think it's either the Colts. I think it's the Colts and then the Cowboys.
The Cowboys is on Thanksgiving Day, so it's the
Yeah,
Colts.
yeah.
So
So
you
that's what I'm saying.
really,
The next two games they're gonna be battle tested, and that's what I think they need. They need to be battle tested coming out of the bye, so they can come out with a sense of urgency. You know what I'm saying?
well,
So
that's all I really have for tonight. I want to hear what everybody else thinks about this season so far. This is a bye week for us, so if you have any comments or questions, leave it in the comments section. Tell us what you think. What is the main thing that is hurting the Chiefs this season, right? Give us your ideas. Give us what your take is. We love to hear from everybody, right? And if you haven't watched any of our older stuff, go on ahead, hit the subscribe button. Go back, watch some of our older videos. They're all up for everybody to watch. And share this content. Leave a like. Hit that hype button. That's a new thing that's going on right now with YouTube. Hit the hype button. You can call me Big Temp, but that's Mr. Michael Flair. We are the Cavecast. If you guys have any questions, like I said, leave them in the comment section. And we will see you guys next week right here again on the Cavecast.